Something about when an owner surrenders their animal, you don't have to wait 72 hours?
That's right.
Is that in here? If it's not in here, I think it should be in here.
I mean, it's on the surrender sheet that they sign when they surrender an animal and they're told. And they have to provide proof of ownership.
Can we make that surrender sheet part of the ordinance?
And I'm going to tell you why, because we've modified it, like Eugene wants me to change it right now to add something else to it. And if it's part of the ordinance, then every single time we wanted to add a line to it, it would have to be done as an ordinance change. I mean, I'd be happy to bring you a copy to show you what it looks like.
So do they sign stating that they know their animal might be killed?
The paragraph at the bottom specifically, and we tell them. If somebody brings a dog into the shelter and I'm there, when they sign it, I tell them, what you're signing says that this dog is becoming property of Edgecombe County and it can be euthanized at any time.
And does it have anything about that y'all don't provide veterinarian services? Somebody told me they took a dog with a broke leg one time and y'all killed it, and they thought y'all were going to take care of it. I mean, some people just don't know.
Okay, so number one, I'd like to know who made. Because I did help a guy recently that had a puppy that he had run over in his yard. His own puppy. I helped him. And the dog had to be euthanized at the vet because of the shape it was in. Even the vet said if it was my own dog, I'd euthanize it.
But would it be y'all's responsibility to bring it with a broke leg?
I mean, the only thing the shelter can do is euthanize it because they don't have funds for vet care.
Well, I think because some people just don't know. That should be part of the surrender form.
But we try to find rescue. We try to help the animal. It doesn't automatically get euthanized immediately. Mm-hmm. Depending on the injury. I mean, we've seen some that were so bad there was nothing.
Well, I just think it would be nice for it to be added to the surrender form for people who just don't know better. Who surrender their animals thinking they're doing best for the animal.
They are.
Well, if they think they're surrendering an animal because y'all will make it all better.
But again, I don't know who would think that.
A lot of people really don't know what animal control does.
Services.
Animal services does.
The problem is
they don't read.
The problem is, number one, I can hand 9 out of 10 people to come through my shelter a piece of paper and tell them, I need you to read each section of this and initial off on it saying that you've read it and sign it at the bottom. And they'll say, oh, okay. And slide it right back to me. 9 out of 10.
Make them read it out loud.
Don't read it to start with, so they still don't have no clue. You know, and if you put, you literally could make the surrender form 10 pages long if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could ask every question under the sun and then some on it, and you know, I mean, you could make it. I mean, there's counties out there that the surrender form is nothing more than I, Eugene Taylor, surrender this dog to Edgecombe County, and I sign it. So, you know, you try to tell everybody that brings them in there that if they're injured or sick, that if you can't find a rescue that's willing to take it and assume the medical on it because the county will not. I mean, you try to educate everybody, but you know, how much of it sinks in is beyond me. And that 72 hours does not need to be changed.
Where?
Right there.
The handling of stray animals.
Because that has nothing to do with us holding them at the shelter. That has to do with her finding a stray animal.
Okay, so that one needs to say.
Report it to us.
That one needs to say 72 hours. Because they can call dispatch any time. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, that one doesn't have anything to do with how long they're held. Okay. Once they become possession of the shelter.
I got you. Does that make sense? In 4-44?
Oh, that's talking about somebody finds an animal, just report it.
Right, that's an individual out in the county finding an animal and reporting it.
Now, where's the part about like 4-43 is talking about may be reclaimed by its owner, but where's the part about where you just take in an a stray dog, and then you'll not euthanize it for 73 business days. That part's talking about.
Read what you're talking. I don't understand what you're talking about. I got 4-43.
Is 4-43 just talking about animals that's owned? It's not talking about stray animals?
Yeah, it's talking about strays. It's talking about anything that comes into the building.
So 4-43 is talking about strays too.
Unless reclaimed, the impounded domesticated animal may be allowed to be adopted or humanely euthanized according to animal shelter procedures after 3 business days of impoundment. Is that what you're asking?
Uh-huh. Couldn't something be added that if y'all have room, you'll keep it longer?
You don't have to. State law and statute says that an animal has to be held 72 hours, period. It doesn't say business days. It doesn't say how. It says 72 hours from the time it comes in the shelter's door till the time that it is legally the shelter's property. At that point, they don't care how long you keep it or how long you don't keep it. They don't.
Well, they do care how long you keep it.
They don't regulate that.
Yeah, I see another 72 hours up here.
I made
Yeah,
that.
all that A section will get changed. Yeah.
Just not what's in 4-44A.
But you understand what I'm saying? All this is saying is that we agreed that we the county aren't going to hold it for 72 hours from the time it comes in the door. We're going to hold it 3 business days from the time it comes in the door. Then at that point we don't have to put it in the ordinance that it'll be held 5 days or 10 days because if we put it in the ordinance that it's going to be held and we'll just say 30 days, okay? If we put it in the ordinance that the animal will be held 30 days, what happens on day 31 if I've got a potential adopter here, but she's got to think about it and talk to her husband about it or her boyfriend or whoever, and she's going to let me know tomorrow. Well, 30 days is up. Do I hold it that extra 1 day and break county ordinance?
Right.
So we don't want to tie our hands on that. I want that left open-ended to where if I need to hold the dog 32 days because I've got a really good potential adopter here, or I've got a rescue group that's got me on hold because they're waiting for transport to Charlotte next week.
Well, I know you keep them longer than 3 days if you have room.
Right.
But you ain't gonna live forever.
Nah, I hope not to be working for Edgecombe forever. No offense.
So it'd be nice.
I mean, I hope to be able to retire one of these days.
It would be nice to add something in here that animal services, provided space is available, may hold the animal longer. Or will hold the animal longer if space is available. Because the next person behind you might just come in and say, oh, 3 days, kill it.
I think that's extreme and unnecessary.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody
I can't imagine anybody in this day and age with animal welfare the way it is and all. I can't imagine anybody having I mean, hey, we can adopt Rocky Mountain's policy. 7 days, gone.
Yeah, what is 3 business days?
Regardless.
Monday through Friday. So like if the dog comes in on Friday, we don't count the weekend as part of that 72 hours.
I would count Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right. The 3 days it becomes available.
Because we're not
Thursday.
open. So I just think that the more you add, because again, you can't just change it. It has to go back to the commissioners. It has to go back to public hearing.
I think
by sticking with the state's rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
somebody told me somebody in Edgecombe County liked playing God and liked killing animals. And I think the person who told me that remembers.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if it was in there. The animals will be held provided space is available.
But how do you know that? I mean, but you say provided
Because the
space.
next
but wait a
person
minute.
behind Eugene
But wait a
might
minute.
get enjoyment out of killing animals.
Okay, provided space is available. Shelter filled up today, I don't know what to tell you. And how are you gonna prove that that shelter didn't fill up while I was closed that morning? And I had these dogs that have been there for 4 days. I mean, you can't, there's no way around that.
Technically, this section, all this section is addressing is the holding of a stray animal
Right,
before it becomes the property of the county.
right.
That's all
That's right.
this is really addressing. It's not addressing how long the county will or won't hold it after this impound period is up.
Right.
I mean, it's like,
Good point.
trying to think what a good example. Domestic violence, you know, and I guess that's still the rule of thumb that if there's sufficient evidence, you go to jail for 24 or 48 hours, whatever it is, you know, well, that's a holding period.
Right.
And then at that point, you know, they release you on bond or whatever. Well, same thing here. This is a holding area for a stray animal. And the state says that we have to hold them for 72 hours.
That's true.
Well, to me, I wanted to make it fair to the citizens of the county was the reason that I changed it to what we're doing, which is not including Saturday and Sunday in that 72 hours. Okay? This doesn't address how long or what you do with them afterwards and all of that, because like I said, the state doesn't really address that. It says that you have to hold them for 72 hours to give the potential owner time to reclaim. I mean,
Well, the first two services take care of that.
you could technically argue that you know, 72 hours isn't technically
yeah.
long enough
The first two
to
sentences, the first two
By the owner or
sentences.
keeper
and realize that
agrees
it's
to
all
the shelter, you're
And
right.
you will have to pay.
You're right,
So
so,
the first two services
But
take
you're
care of all
right.
that.
because that
Right.
is
They
gonna
don't
fall
allow
back
you-
to the shelter's
What if somebody has to pay to come pick up animals?
But do we
I'm
need
not
to,
gonna ask the county to feed your dog because you let it get away from you for free.
No, for somebody to pick up an animal, how much does it cost?
$40 reclaim.
$40. Because I'm going to start charging that.
It's $40 reclaim, and that includes a rabies shot. If you can't prove it's current, you have to have that done, but it has to be done before they leave the building, and that's included in that $40.
Since this paragraph also deals with humane euthanasia and how animals disposed, couldn't we specify how animals are disposed here?
In my opinion, that's animal shelter policy and procedure. It has nothing to do with the county's ordinance. Right? I mean, because that's in your policy and procedure. That's not really,
You mean the method in which it's done? Is that what you're saying?
So are you saying it's Eugene's decision to sell cats and not the county?
no, it's not what I said.
I
said
thought
it's
you
in-
said
I
that
said it's
don't
in-
have nothing to do with it.
No, that's not what I
It's
said.
not an ordinance
I
issue,
said it's in
a
their
policies
policy and procedures. It's not an
So who
ordinance.
controls policy and procedures?
The county does ultimately.
So I think policies and procedures should be in here.
You're,
How do we change
you're
policies
mixing up
and
policy and
procedures?
procedure and ordinance.
You can make, this group can make whatever recommendation that you want, but that does not mean that the commissioners have to accept it. If the recommendation that comes from this group is from the group, not from an individual. If you want to speak on that separately, that's totally
But I
up to
think,
you.
I think you're mixing,
So
I think you're
couldn't
mixing
we-
up the two.
Couldn't we add it here that, making an ordinance that animals are disposed of at the county landfill and they are not to be sold?
I will not vote for it. Because that's a policy and procedure.
That don't matter if you don't vote for it.
Okay.
Because
But
I
still
don't
think
have to
you're-
vote for this.
But I still think you're confusing
I don't
the
have to
two.
vote for this, and I can put on Facebook that
Janice,
y'all
you're confusing
refuse
the
to do
two.
that.
This is law.
How do you think cats,
You're not listening
how do
to
you
me,
think
Janice.
euthanized animals wind up in dog food?
You're not listening to the difference in policy and procedure.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Okay.
Now, Eugene said he didn't care if we didn't sell cats.
But it,
It doesn't affect me one way or the other.
So why don't we just add?
because it's policy and
I
procedure,
tell you
not
what, to
law.
make it, the sell of this, if anybody got anything on to bring to the table, put it in the form of a motion so we can keep moving, because
Thank
this
you.
is personal stuff.
Thank
And
you.
I ain't got time to sit here and listen to it.
Thank you. Would you like to make a
Now, let's
motion
stay,
to add that
let's
to
stay to the mission of this group.
to what we have
Make a
that we're
motion
ready
or
to
whatever,
present?
anything
Oh,
you
do we
wanna
have
see.
another? 1, 2, 3.
You can do that.
We do?
You got a form.
Well, I make a motion to include in here that animals are disposed of at the county landfill and are not to be sold.
Do we have a
Euthanized
second?
animals.
I can't second it, because that has absolutely nothing
We
to do
don't need no
with
discussion. We don't need no
impounding.
discussion. No
of
second, we
animals.
move on to the next thing on the agenda. We don't need no
Okay, no
discussion.
second?
Don't need no discussion.
Eric, I want a copy of everybody who was in attendance tonight, so I can post this on
Okay.
Facebook.
Go ahead. But
All
you're
right,
still confusing two things.
Now,
And I refuse, since y'all want to be a butt,
listen to me,
I refuse to vote for this.
listen to me,
And while you're at it, let's talk about humane euthanasia.
listen to me.
Let's fill out what's humane. Heart stick is not humane. Can we agree to get rid of heart
The
stick?
Humane Society does not agree with you.
Well, I can pull up lots of articles where it's been banned in many states.
Who's chairing this meeting?
I
You
am.
need to take control of it.
I still,
And from now on, ever who want to be addressed, they got to address the chair.
Mr. Evans,
We need to bring some closure.
I don't know how to put it on the table per se, that there's a difference in policy and procedure and law.
I don't think it's necessary. You had a motion that did not get a second. I would recommend you move on.
Okay, all right. So